Hey everybody, don't know if you're seeing us yet, but right now we're just still in testing. We'll be ready to go with you all in just a moment.
How can I get to that? Go to SVN.
Let's see.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Let me see. Very buzzy. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2.
Let me just go. Let's see. I could get those just rode into USB mics and we can just plug them up. And...
1 2 1 2. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. That doesn't sound bad.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
We're gonna get a bunch of feedback now.
What is that?
It's background noise. Who knows? It might be the camera. I can pull it back some. Let's see if that gets rid of it. Are you still alive?
Yeah. Oh, but nobody else
Stay
is
alive.
there besides you.
Yeah. Did that go away to the background? I'm behind. Lisa's watching.
Oh.
Hey, Lisa. How's that sound, Lisa? Hey, Lisa.
I need to figure out how to turn it up. It just automatically did it on mine.
Oh. How's that sound, Lisa? There's still a little buzz, but it sounds better.
Okay.
She said great. Sweet. And
Oh, Lisa Shapiro, yeah.
yeah.
That's right. Everybody can hear us now.
Yep. Don't say anything crazy. Don't say anything crazy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab one thing and then we'll jump in. We'll get started. If you're ready, James.
Mm-hmm.
All right, James. I'm getting some headphones so I can hear us too.
Okay.
I'll listen to us on Facebook.
Yep. I'll let you be in charge of that.
Thanks, James.
Good morning, Leslie. Good seeing you. All right, I'm gonna start up Instagram here. All right, everybody. So glad. Hopefully, look forward to hearing your questions here. Chad's gonna get some headphones to make sure he's able to. Oh, that's right. The camera's over there. To make sure he's able to hear you. We'll get this thing rolling. Just make some announcements. See what questions y'all would love to process with us. We really look forward to engaging with you. Oh, everybody's popping in on IG. Good seeing you. There's Chad, the EFT guy, is here with us. See, I've been trying to really practice. I'm trying to learn to be fancy in some ways. You know, I'm inspired by Angela, our production manager, and all the fancy things she does. So, but we'll get you about ready there, Chad? I'm gonna roll this beat footage. Roll. We've been not really beat footage, but. Right. So here we go, Chad. Man, truly though, you all, this is just something. Once again, it's just something we just kind of impromptu did. So there's not really a full script to all of this, and I'm still learning social media. We've got some of you are here on IG, some over on Facebook, and the IG people can't see everything the Facebook people see, but this video will be available if you want to see it. So just kind of the flow for just this time. We're going to go through a couple announcements just to bring you up to speed with what's going on with SV and with the team. And then me and Chad are just going to open it up and just see some of the questions you have. So if you'll just kind of give me some time, I'm going to go ahead and just roll through a few quick announcements to tell you some things. So one of the things we want to be able to tell you about is that we are changing a little bit of the format of how we're releasing our online learning. And this is we're kind of just getting feedback from people. It's like they could be overwhelmed and inundated by all the good information they're getting.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about it, and for us, something's getting really echoey for some reason.
Okay.
But for us, it was really tough to even produce all the content, and then we knew that people were having a hard time taking in the content, watching hours of video or watching tons and tons of content, and we thought, what would be more manageable? If we broke it down into like hour-long segments, we thought, hey, that would be a great way for people to get engaged with the content and really start to see some of, really get through all of the material, because it is so much, it is so rich.
Yeah, and so
part of what we're going to do, I'll bring it back up. Sorry, I didn't take it down while you were there, Chad. But so we're going to release it in these ways every 2 weeks, and you kind of see the breakdown. The people on Facebook can see it.
Mute your MacBook Pro microphone. The microphone, sorry. Right there, perfect. Mute that. There you go, that's perfect. We were getting an echo.
Thank you all. Thank you. Once again, we're learning here. So with that, is it better now?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
I think it will be.
It will be. That's right, 20 seconds late over there. But anyway, so we're releasing it in waves. So what's going to happen is the same content that you've been getting, except we're going to release it in small segments, digestible segments. And so you see kind of the breakdown. For you on IG, you can't see what I have up or the graphic. But the way it's going to go is that there will be wave one is the teach and demonstration. Just taking what George or what Ryan or any SV team member is teaching on the concept and a demonstration to make that concept come to life. 2 weeks later, you'll then get wave two. That's where you'll have the clinical example clip, and then also an application exercise. So we'll pull something out that we want you to get more focused with still, and then you get to practice with it after seeing it done. Then in wave three, you'll have the self of the therapist and the EFT trainer. That's where we now as a team are sitting, and this is what it's like for us to take it in and how to apply that and maybe blocks that we might have. And then for trainers, just to clarify maybe some pieces from the training. And then wave four, something new that we are doing here in season 2. The bonus material.
Adding all kinds of content that really we wanted to add it because it develops. It comes out of what we are talking about as we go through it. It comes out of this like natural process. We kept saying, man, when we sit down to develop the program, we develop the material. So many of the conversations are rich, and we just come up with things that we want to add. So that's where bonus material came from. It said, hey, how do we give you kind of a glimpse into what we're thinking about and share that rich conversation with you. Yeah.
And then that last piece is just, once again, that full clinical example, not just a small clip of it now, but now you get the whole thing so you can kind of take it in your own speed.
Yep.
Right?
That's good.
And so from there, we just kind of finished up the module on World of the Withdrawal.
Yeah.
Chad and I kind of fit in that category style. That was great just to kind of take some time and like just experience what is it like inside their world.
Yeah.
Chad, what was it like when we did that piece on when Ryan was inside your head and kind of trying to draw out what might withdrawals be thinking in a session?
You know, it was interesting because a lot of times we got to mute the MacBook microphone again. It keeps trying to pick it up. Sorry, but a lot of times it's not explicit. Like I kind of stay in my own head, but I'm like, I don't have somebody else trying to put words to it. And so Ryan's words kind of were, I don't know if they were exactly perfect, and it wasn't in my voice, obviously, but it was something that really does, it kind of makes you go, oh, wait. Their process. So that was good. Yeah.
All right. And then so we did that. And now what I'm excited for is we're going to roll right from there into the world of the pursuer. And those will be coming out soon, where you'll be able to get that teach on the world of the pursuer and then a clinical example. And what's exciting for me about this world of the pursuer is that you saw in the world of the withdrawer, George doing the work over there with the withdrawer. Guess what you get to see this time? George come right back with that same couple and go over and do a pursuer softening after working on withdrawal re-engagement.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see some
It's
consistency.
Well, the back-to-back thing is really cool. It's neat to say, hey, we're going to.
I agree with that. And then here's something new and exciting we're trying to roll. Oh, sorry, I keep doing that. Yeah, we're going to get it. But it's this part about sometimes when you're working with your client and in their protected place, when they talk, instead of talking about their experience, they'll keep going over into view of other. And they'll you're not this, or you always that. If you would just do this, or if you could just stop that thing, if you would just stay with me, if you would just calm down. And they're over there, and that keeps that reactivity going. But we can't just switch it back in a way. We need to be able to skillfully build the bridge back into the view of self.
Yeah.
So George and I are going to be doing a training called Working with the Client's View of Self in a way to help you skillfully be able to make that move from view of other to build that bridge back to view of self. That'll be online February the 11th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and you'll be able to go to Success and Vulnerability to register for that. It's not up on the website yet, but we'll get it there really soon. And then, still other thing that I'm excited about here, Chad and Annabelle are going to be leading a process group. What would you like to say about that process group that we got coming up, Chad?
Well, man, I think we don't learn in isolation. We don't grow in isolation. And so to sit down with other people and say, let's process through this material. Let's make sure that we're making sense of, how we're implementing it. We do want to keep the EFT kind of learning process in that group. So we are not only going to just sit down and process, we're going to make sure we do something with the material, get a rep or two of practicing and saying, hey, can we get into a role play? We're not trying to make it a training, but we are trying to get practical application that you can walk out of that group and go do something with it in your very next session. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I know Annabelle has tons of energy, and I love her voice and input, and excited to share the group with her and get to spend time with y'all. I always get better. That's the thing that I was thinking about earlier, James, when we were talking about doing this. Mm-hmm. On Wednesdays, we sit down, our team, and we have a conversation, and I see 3 couples in a row right after that. Mm-hmm. And when I get into that sort of rhythm with y'all, I go into those sessions, and I hit it. Like, I have a focus. I have a plan or an idea of what I want to do, and I think those are probably my most focused sessions of the week.
Wow.
They're the things that I'm like, I get something done in those sessions. And so that really, I want those groups to do that. I want them to deliver that kind of focus to folks so they can walk out of that and yes, have had a conversation, but have something practical to go do. Does that make sense, James?
It makes total sense. I think what you're saying, Chad, that I like that you said, it's a term, you used it just a moment ago, is the power of repetition.
Yeah.
So by no means, I know I just ran through a list of things that we're doing as SV. That's not saying if you as a therapist aren't doing these things, but what we do want to do is we want to give, we at least want to create things that give an opportunity.
Yeah.
For this focus to get better and better at doing this work that we do. Because that repetition, I think, and that intense focus, because Chad and I, we were talking about this group we just did, core skills with, and they're just killing it. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on with this group?
They're good.
Exactly. They were really good. And I think it's one to say just about the trainers and the hard work they're doing. Sue's new book is out, EFIT, and the training on EFIT is out there. Yep. But also I found that there's all these podcasts. Annabelle has We Heart Therapy, Connected Couples that you and Angela do. We're doing The Leading Edge. And now there's SV these participants are getting so much material in between and opportunities to learn.
Yep.
They're locking in, man. And so that just really excites me.
We've got that premarital stuff that me and Angela are working on, and I was sharing it with an intern, and she was like, I didn't know this stuff was out there, but I feel like that's how it is for therapists that are, I know for me, and I won't speak for anybody else, but I know for me, I went out and I started doing work, and I was doing EFT training, but it felt like there wasn't enough material, especially in 2013 or whatever. But to have this, man, for me, I'm like, oh, it actually puts pressure on me. I'm like, I need to make sure I'm using the resources that are available. You know, it kind of says, if I'm not focused on a Monday, it's not because the material wasn't there. It's because I got distracted. Not to put, that's my brain. That's how I work. But I'm like, I need to make sure I'm using what I've got. And that's what's cool is we have these resources.
Wow, I like that. Make sure I'm using what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. I don't know, but hey,
Yeah.
so we've kind of rolled through all the things we want to share. And we know we want to make sure that we do give an opportunity for those of you who have been a part of this, whether you bought the modules or not, maybe you just follow us on social media. We do want to get better at that. But hey, I guess I'm going to throw a wild card out there, chat, and just say, if there's something that you want to ask, and I'll thank you for the love. We really appreciate you over there on Instagram. If there's a question you want to ask, shoot it, particularly if it's a process question, maybe your interaction with the SV material. Yeah. Or maybe something with focus, working with blocks.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shoot those questions. Man, look at all you more people rolling in.
I can hear everything. I'm going to grab something to set this on so you can see it too. They can see us.
So Chad's getting that set up. But just be thinking about your questions for a moment. Hey, Doc, good to see you. Good seeing you. Really appreciate you've been there with us on IG. Just appreciate your feedback and how you're appreciating the material. Really, really thank you so much. Hey, Mrs. Doc Hawk, I think I know you. I don't know, maybe, but thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. But yeah, once again, still, Chad's doing that. Just want a chance, if there's any questions, you can type it in, and we'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. Yeah, thank you, Chad.
How's that look?
Hey, looks good to me.
Good.
Good improvisation.
If I need to see you guys, I'll lean in. I don't mind being close to you, James.
No, I don't mind being close to you. All right. Here we go. We're starting to get some here. Let me see.
Love it.
So let me go ahead and pull this one in so you all can kind of be where we are. Let's see. So I've heard instruction that we are to follow the emotion, but in stage 1, I know I am to try to figure out the protection and the impact on the partner. This confuses me, and I'm trying to get clarity so I do better work and get a stage 1 tape. We definitely want to root for you there, Leslie.
Yeah.
Can you model what this would look like? So this is modeling. Let me make sure I get that. To follow the emotion and try to figure out the protection to help with stage 1. Yeah. So what's coming in my mind, kind of one of the most common formulas for a stage 1 type enactment is we will tie their protection to their primary emotion.
Yep.
So if you can get both of those really clear, this will help set you up for that stage 1 tape you're looking for, Leslie. So now here's where she wants us to demo it, right?
Come up with a live demo. Can I play with it, James?
You sure
can.
can.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So James, let's pretend, and y'all hang in there with me for a second. Let's pretend I've got James in what the question was, I'm following the emotion. I'm getting down to like deeper places, right? And she's saying, pull out the protection and the impact on the partner, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm in a deep place with James, I'm going, okay, James, so you're in this sad, it's really sad. It's hard for you in these moments. You want to connect with Nicola, but she feels distant, and you're in this lost, sad place. And generally that happens to you. And I know that, and here's his protective action, right? I know that generally it kind of shuts you down too. You go away. And so a lot of times you show Nicola this distance, this protective action going away. But inside, you're feeling this deep sadness, this pain, this longing to be with her. Am I getting that right? Yeah. And so then, and if I was going to tie it to how it impacts partner, and so then Nicola sees that, and she assumes that you don't want that. Mm-hmm. So I may not take it all the way down to protective action every time, and this is really contrived. We're on Facebook Live, and we just made it up. Yeah. But I'm like, does that make sense to you? Like
100%, because I love Sue uses a line in this place. Because Sue is like, so part of what you're doing here, Leslie, is you keep organizing and organizing, letting them see it, and you're really making it bubble up. Because in that place, this is a line I'm stealing from Sue. So let me make sure I really got them.
Yeah.
Because you go away.
Yeah.
Because you feel this sadness about being distanced from Nicola. But you just go away and you never get to talk about it.
Yeah.
You never get to talk about this sadness when you go away.
Perfect.
So what I want to do, though, I want to stay here and give that sadness, Nicole, an opportunity to be there, to see that sadness that normally doesn't get talked about.
Yep.
Is that okay? And then, to help Leslie finish her stage 1 tape, is what Leslie would do then is, so I know normally you kind of go away and Nicola doesn't see this, but can you can you turn right here and let her know now? It's like, I feel this distance between us, and you see me go away, but when I go away, it's really a way to kind of find a way to deal with my sadness. Could you turn and tell her that?
Love it.
And then that would be your stage 1 right there for you, enactment. So the idea behind that is we don't want to, even when we're going for emotion, this is one that Chad's been talking about, we need to tie the emotion back to attachment, into the attachment related behaviors. So they all fit together. And if you can, particularly that you did say the part, Leslie, and forgive me if I'm missing too much, it can be hard to also, when we say in the impact on the partner, that's really almost like a step 4 move, is what that is. And we do have an actual showing of that where George does tie it in, and that could be even an enactment. And so even though this is what you go away to deal with your sadness, James, do you think you could turn and tell Nicola that, I go away with my sadness, but I realize my going away kind of leaves you in a place where you're alone and you're also sad? That's also a very vulnerable move to say, I know I have a move to deal with my sadness, but I realize my protective move leaves you in a hard place.
Yeah. That's great. I was going to say, that's a late stage 1, because it is a risky, it's like I see the impact my move has on you. Early stage 1, maybe it's like a lot of times I show you disconnection or I show you my frustration and distance, but really I'm feeling this sadness. Who said that? Debbie Pridemore, another supervisor. She told me that, but I can't remember where she got it from. It was another train. I can't remember. But like, I show you this, but actually I feel this. That's a really, I show you this frustration and anger, secondary emotion, but actually I'm feeling this sadness and hurt. So that's a great, like, early stage 1 enactment.
And to help you out, Leslie, I wouldn't worry so much about maybe, if you're just trying to get certified, I wouldn't be worried about trying to show also how it impacts other partners.
Yeah.
That's a very complicated thing to tie into.
Yeah.
Great question. We appreciate you for chiming
That
in
was
with
awesome.
that one, Leslie.
Thank you, Leslie.
Anybody else? Love that question. Love learning with y'all. Let me make sure I'm following you guys on.
Jill from Vegas.
Hey, Jill.
What's up?
Let me see. Was there anything? It looks like a couple words. Okay, nope. All right. Sweet. Hey, just, man, that was even a good one right there. Just really and that's what I hope with SV is really being able to break down and parse and recognize those pieces. Just, Leslie, say thank you. You're welcome, Leslie. That was a brilliant question. You probably just helped somebody else out there that wants to be certified by asking the question you asked. So. But I just love being able to break this down for people. Like even how you just broke that down. Here's an element and here's a choice. And then as I build, then maybe I could push a little bit more by adding in. Not only you go away to deal with your sadness, but also I can see that my move that protects me also leaves you in a hard spot. Man.
Yeah.
That's something you would push for maybe a little bit later.
Yeah. People waving. I love it.
I know.
I wish there was a way to do Instagram and Facebook side by side. Oh, there's a way. No, I don't know. We're not trying it today.
Not today. There you go. Sometimes that's what our clients say. Not today. I cannot talk about how my move that protects me impacts my partner. Not today.
We're just gonna cycle.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But now, y'all, just once again, we just wanted to jump on. We hope to do this as SV. Once again, part of our really, I think, the ethos of who we are as a team and what motivates us to keep doing what we do is we really are trying to create, we believe that the world is hurting so much.
Yep.
And there's so much going on. And when I say the world, we think about our clients. But what I'm seeing, Chad, and you probably see it in supervision, there are a lot of you therapists that are out there really kicking butt trying to give your clients your absolute best.
Yeah.
And that really makes us excited. Because the more of us that are getting better at this and helping people, we really believe it makes our world better. And that's our number one motivator. Do we have families to feed and take care of? Yes, but our number one motivator is when we get to hear stories from you as the community about how this is impacting your work. You're showing up more confident in the room. you're seeing examples of success with your clients, with your individuals, your families, and your couples, please keep sharing those bits of success that you have with us because we want to keep passing those on to
Definitely. Yeah. No, and I love what you're saying, James. That's I mean, it's the heart behind what we're doing. I mean, and everything we're trying to do, you know, takes energy and effort and time. But I'm like, our heart is, we want to help people. I mean, this is the goal of what SV is doing and at the heart of how we want to show up. So, you know, people ask about that sometimes, like, how'd this happen? Or it's a bunch of people with the same heart that care about couples, that care about relationship, and care about community. That we say we care about.
And talk about from like we got someone here from Iran right now. Like
Love it.
I probably should have worn my reading glasses. I did pick up the Iran part. Thank you so much. Like that's just amazing. Like we think here, but like all the way even crossing cultural boundaries. So
Asani Khaled, I think. I don't
you,
know how to say
Asani.
it perfectly, but yeah.
I hope we got it right, Doc. Really appreciate you, Asani.
Aslani, maybe? Yeah.
If you have any questions, Doc, please ask.
Yes.
Or anything you like to see. I know we've like been on. I've talked to you on Instagram before, so yeah, really appreciate you all.
It's great. Well, man, I think we wanted to just give you guys a space to process. If you have a question, if you have something you want to talk about, James and I are here. We'll hang out for a couple more minutes. And, you know, for me, James, I was going to say it's weird because I was thinking about this yesterday. I've done so many different things over Facebook or Zoom or different contexts and led groups on Zoom and now hybrid groups. And I got to tell you, last night I was at a Christmas party and it was almost weird to be in person, but I love that we have this platform that we can, you know people in Iran, know people in California, Texas, all over the country and get together. I mean, that's the cool thing about this, but also, man, I love to train in person and all those things too. I'm just kind of talking about the process that we're in, you know, and I've gotten some couples in person lately and I'm like, man, that impact, right? You see somebody reach, you see somebody, I was thinking about the longing to be in those places with people for me as a therapist, right? And that's why I do this. If I can get somebody to reach over and comfort something that's never been comforted, after something that's never been shared gets comfort, man, that's why I do this, because it feels good for me, and I care for the client. You know, it's like that is a sacred space to me. You know.
Since I got Chad here, I feel like I want to pick Chad's brain in front of you all right now, and Chad can handle that because he's not afraid. You know, so Chad, I remember one time we were in one of our SV meetings, and you and Stephanie, I'm sure many of you know Stephanie. She's the person that fixes everything and makes the SV world almost go around. But it's like we were talking, we were meeting, and one thing y'all kept saying is, you gotta bring that back to attachment. You gotta bring that back to attachment.
Yeah.
Kind of help me understand, like you were really serious about that. Help me understand that you gotta bring it back to attachment.
If we just go into emotion, the thing that makes emotion make sense is attachment. Like, I feel this pain, and the thing that pain, my sadness, your sadness from our role play a minute ago, the thing that it's asking for is responsiveness. And so if I go into this sadness and I don't bring it back to attachment, even in stage one, I'm thinking about Leslie's question. Like even in stage, if I don't attachify it, right? If I don't take it back to attachment, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. We just sit in the sadness, but if I tie it to attachment, man, it calls for responsiveness. So that sets up my sessions to be responsive. Now, I'm not saying that reactive couples can do that, but I'm like, attachment really is the frame that makes the whole thing make sense.
Okay. So can I put you on the spot
Yeah,
here? You've already done one.
Keep pushing on me.
Keep pushing. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's what I love about our team. We keep saying that to each other. We hope your communities do that too.
Yeah.
So tie my sadness to attachment.
Sure. Yeah, man. So you're sitting in this place and you see things go wrong, and I'm making up the story, but I'm like, you see things get tense between you and Nicola, and it hits you, and your body just goes, ugh. And that sadness really speaks to you. This is the woman you love. You see this distance between the two of you, and your body just goes, ah. And like you've said, I'm throwing the air quotes because we don't have the story, but I'm like, this hurts. You don't know what to do. And that pain comes up, and your body just goes, oh, This is so familiar. It's so sad. I can't stay in it. I'm not successful. I'm only going to hurt this woman more attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna go away. And that hurts. Sorry.
No,
Because you
that
love
was
her.
it.
Yeah.
But do you catch? And it wasn't just like Chad. Oh, because you love her. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
like we can see this positive attachment that might not really be attuned.
Yeah.
But what Chad did, is like in that moment, what you did, it's like it became like you became an attachment whisperer.
Yeah.
Because what attachment is, you use the key language. You see the distress.
Yeah.
That's attachment says, either I'm going through something and I need proximity, or a distance has happened and I've lost connection with a significant caregiver that gives me security.
Yeah.
And that then triggers an attachment. So you spoke it out loud. But when you see that distress, now secure attachment would say, yes, there's distance, but I can reach towards my partner in a vulnerable way and they'll respond to me and we'll have success.
Yeah.
But then the way you did it, you spoke to me as a withdrawer. You see the distance. You see that she's away from you. But you're not quite sure if going towards her will lead to something good.
Yeah.
So what you do is you kind of just stay back. And you stay back because you're not sure how it's going to go. But even that hurts.
Yeah.
You just showed me what my protective move when I'm in insecure attachment, what it does, and then how it still keeps fueling the attachment system, because now I'm still getting a signal that the thing that I really need is not happening.
Yeah.
But to go towards it also brings a fear response. And so now I'm caught in the dilemma here between the fear of making it go worse, but also being stuck here in the sadness.
Yeah.
So Chad made that so clear. And because he did that, what sticks out for me is you didn't blame Nicola.
No.
You didn't. And then for me, if I'm a withdrawer who's really not in touch with my feelings, I might see my sadness as I'm just being weak.
Mm.
I might not have ever tied it to, it is because I love her.
Yeah.
Because sometimes for withdrawers, they're always told, you don't care enough.
Yeah.
You don't care. You don't, but withdrawers really do care. You just tapped into it and highlighted it. But then you also highlight the move that I make that I get blamed for.
Yeah.
You did let me know I'm doing it for a good reason, but you highlight it. But it still leaves you sad though.
Yeah.
So I don't
There
know.
you are, sad and alone. You said something that I think was really good as you just started off a minute ago, James. You said, when we can't get to our caregiver,
Oh yeah.
right? And my brain was like, it cued in on that. Because for a second, I was thinking caregiver's like a parent or something, right? And I'm like, I believe that attachment says, and maybe some attachment experts would argue, or so, I don't know, I'm not the expert on attachment necessarily, but I'm like, but I believe that the way that we've evolved as a species and the way that, or wired or created, whatever you want to call that, our brains need another to make sense of our world. I think there's tons of research on that, but I'm like, so that is a caregiver.
That's right.
That's
is
like
right.
you said it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that. I'm like, oh, but it is a caregiver. As you were talking, I'm like, that we need that primary person to be available, responsive, and engaged, right? ARE, I'll say accessible, responsive, and engaged, but so that we can kind of be okay in our head.
That's right.
And so when you see that, or when Nicola sees that, and her brain goes, oh, there he goes again. I need to fight for this. That makes sense because she loves you. I'm
That's
trying
right.
to be fair to pursuers here.
100%, they do.
Yeah, because that's their move. That's what they've got, and it's the only thing that makes sense in that moment because it is that I need that care. I need to know that we're together.
That's right.
Otherwise, I'm lost, and that's crazy making for withdrawers and for pursuers.
And let me jump in. You are exactly right to catch that caregiver part, because there is one more step that brings it into the adult attachment frame. And this is still the language kind of coming from Phil Shaver and Mario Michelangelo, right? Like what makes adult attachment relationships different than just the Bowlby kind of like caregiver one is that adult attachment, romantic relationships between adults, you are a caregiver and you are a receiver of care, but you're also a giver of care.
Yeah.
And for our romantic, because like even in the example you gave, there is a part where you see distance with you and Nicola, but then guess what you highlight, and I didn't bring it out, which is good. You don't know if you have what it takes to go give Nicola what she needs.
Yeah.
So now I'm feeling a block or an insufficiency in my role as the caregiver, and not just like and I want to be careful how I say like a child who's kind of like, and so that's where you have to help in the adult attachment relationship. Is that's where they can get blocked. Is they have to be able to do. I think both people need to be able to thrive in both roles as caregiver and care receiver. And when either one of those, and so I'm looking and trying to assess that in session.
Yeah.
That's where we do the thing. Like, we taught on enactments, right?
Yep.
Is can you take that in?
Yeah.
Because now I need to see, can you receive care? Or do you get shamed for getting care? Or you just mistrust that it'll go away?
Man, we could talk all day, James.
yeah,
I'm serious
sure.
because I'm like, you just made me go. I did this on Wednesday after, I'm sitting there and I literally don't expect the wife to take that in. Like I'm doing an enactment from, it was a husband and wife. He's responding to her, or he's sharing with his story with her, and I know she goes, I don't know if I believe this. And I'm like, of course you don't.
That's right.
Because they haven't been able to
Yep.
be a care receiver or
right.
a caregiver. Like
That's right.
they haven't practiced this.
Or
I mean, the language is a little off.
no, I like it because I just had that same thing happen with a pursuer, and she was like, "And what is it like to take this moment
Yeah.
in? It's good, but
Yep.
and it softens my heart, but I'm afraid when it'll go away."
Yeah.
And so she was in the bind and say, "Oh, because what is it like right now to be with your husband and to allow your heart to be softened by what he just did and what he just said? It's scary."
Yeah.
So
I think about doing it with my. It's scary to do some of this stuff, to open it up and not know if you're going to get caught,
exactly.
or they're not really going to stay. Or
And
they're
even
gonna,
if it comes,
Yeah.
there's still the risk of because what it was for her, if I embrace this good thing and it goes away, then I'm gonna hurt again.
Yeah.
Not even he caught me right now,
Yeah.
but if I become reliant on this, independent, and like take this in,
Yeah.
then when it goes away, I'm gonna be grieving again.
Yeah.
So it's like I
good.
want to take it in, but I don't want to grieve again.
It's great.
I want to take it in, but I don't. So it's like
Yep.
a caught. But anyway, we could keep going on and on. I think
Cover all the material.
you gotta, yeah, right. You got a few more minutes, and Chad and I are gonna go away because we have an attachment
got a
function
lunch.
after this with our little girls at school.
Yeah.
Our girls go to
Yeah.
the same school, so man. But I hope what you even just got to see that happen there. Just so you know, when we're as a team, this is not just things that we create. It's what we believe about people
Yeah.
in the world,
Yeah.
and it's what we are really excited about. And so many of the projects you get that come out of us, there are things that we create them out of a passion of us being touched by our like Sue would say, we learn from our clients every single
Yeah.
day. And
I feel like we just had like a little mini SV meeting. You know, this
Y'all
is
got
what
it,
the meetings
man.
are like a little bit. You know?
You're not kidding. Next time, so hopefully for a Facebook Live, we can get the whole team here one day. So I'm telling you, we just one day like there's like so
Sit around and talk for an hour and just like let everybody see all of our disagreements too, and repairs.
I know it is totally.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying, George. Help explain that one to me, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, once again, you all, thank you so much, Chad. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you all for your questions and comments. And we hope you just keep enjoying the material. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all.